soil, no ocean, no salty wave, no sky above, no living being. No movement, no colors, no elements, no eye to see anything. Complete emptiness.
Before all was nothing.
The moon companion of the sun, a dream celestial glow, motionless starry sky. The planets don't know where to move. They are unaware of poisons and of hope.
Intrinsic virtues awake.
All of a sudden appears a light. Horizons open wide. Voices fill the air.
And the gods made light.
The layers tremble and raise and staggering. And words transform into flesh and blood. The act of uppermost magic has begun. Impulses working on and on. Movement here and there.
Vibrations move the atmosphere.
Transcendental forces penetrate the planet we call us. In all spheres of universe,
All the elements burst.
a warm, powerful breeze inspires inanimate matter, and the creature, shaky, reeling on two legs, extends its hands, shivering against the sky.
Primary procreation is accomplished. Primary procreation is accomplished.
on the weaker ones who became suppressed by the violence. So are we possessed by the same ideas in a world that's full of fears and tears and progresses.
Song definitely makes more sense now, talking about Poseidon, Atlantis, and things like that. Yeah, of course, it starts off with saying there's no native soil, no ocean, no salty wave, no sky above, no living being, no movement, no colors, no elements at all, nothing to see. Everything is empty. Then one by one, creatures are formed through some celestial powers, some out of the world powers or creatures or things. And then one by one things are formed and they've helped each other also come into life. And then they became so many that they had to form tribes to survive and to fight against these other tribes. And so the weaker ones were oppressed and the powerful ones ruled. And it's pretty similar to possibly the rest of the world or history as we know it. So it's, you know, now the first song makes more sense. At that time it felt like, what are they talking about and why is this important? But now you could try to connect the dots and now it feels like the dots are getting connected. Maybe the third and fourth song will reveal more on this album. So, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful depiction of how things are done. It reminds me a lot of Pink Floyd and Rush, the musical arrangement, the vocals. Reminded me a lot of early Pink Floyd and Rush. Yeah, and this was also very early. So I guess all of these acts inspired each other, so to speak.
They were contemporaries, yeah.
They were at the same time, early and late 1970s were the prime, they were at the prime. After that they dwindled away into non-existence today, perhaps, more or less non-existence. Yeah, so it's amazing how this song was crafted beautifully.
I think even they were honoring the genre of progressive rock. So when you listen to it, among all kinds of rock, progressive rock definitely stands out, and especially with the timestamp when you listen to it, you know, it was kind of a like grunge came and everybody was on to it. Progressive rock also made a lot of enthusiasts just come along and create something whatever you feel like. I mean, you can do, you can experiment, you can create your own thing. There is no foundation, there is nothing to fear. There are no reservations, just go on doing what you feel like, and whatever will come out will be called progressive rock. So this is what it was, a shining example of it. There were a lot of elements that they tried putting musically. It was all, you know, again, like I used the term diverse in the past, same goes here as well. There was robotic, or what do you call that, when he says primary procreation is accomplished, like robotic, the machine sound. It definitely reminds me a lot of Rush, and also Peter Gabriel, his solo act when it all started, very similar to all this. I also am odd to think with the lyrics, whenever we listen to European, Scandinavian in specific songs, you have a very direct approach to things. You don't have something that America does, mainly what America does. So in America, they will create music or anything that will sell. They don't care about whether what approach they are taking. It's all about what will sell. I'm creating that. So they have an end product already in mind, and with that they create something that they know this is where I want to get to. And when you listen to something European, especially from Scandinavia and Baltic region and these parts, what happens is they are very direct in their approach. So they have not thought what will sell, I'm creating that. They are creating something that they understand, or they think there is a, they feel, they relate to it, they reason with it, and that's what they want to create. Whether it will do well, not do well, that's a secondary issue. Let me just create what I am inspired to do, and then I'll see whether it will work or not work. So most of the music and most of the stuff that we listen to is created with the idea that what they wanted to do. Later on, whether it will be commercially successful or not, and that also, glares in the face why they were not very commercially successful at the same time, while the other part of the world was getting everything. So their approach or their idea was not to create something commercial, but also what they were inclined to do. And what they inclined to do is very simple, simple things. They want to question, they want to understand all of that, what man wants to understand, a common man. They all wanted to make music on those similar lines, not something that they already knew that was a hit formula and let me do that. So many things that we hear from 70s, 80s, 60s from America, they were far ahead of their time, and they were selling just because they were too funky or something, nobody expected them to create. But at the same time, there was something basic and something simplistic that actually just went in the wave or whatever storm of all that music that was created, just because they kept it very simple and basic, and they were doing what they felt they were connecting more to. So that I find it unique when we get the comparison of all of that sitting here after so many years, after decades of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This album, the album Ocean, is by ELOY, and there are 4 primary members that are playing and singing the whole creation of it. Even the lyrics are written by them. There is Frank Borman, Klaus Peter Modziol, and Detlef Schmidten, and Jürgen Rosenthal. So these are the 4 members this band ELOY consists, and all of it that we are listening to is created by them. This is a request by our patron Marco. Let's move on to the next song of the album.